Today we are upgrading the stereo system in this beautiful 1977 Ford Thunderbird. We are going to put in a new radio, new door speakers, and we're also going to put in new speakers in the trunk and the back deck. Start by taking the door off. We find out we have 6.5s installed in the door. They're old school and soldered on. The original radio is a standard 2-knob, and we're going to replace that with a custom Auto Sounds retrofit radio that'll look just the same, but it'll have all the benefits of a new radio. Alright, we started this build by taking out the rear speakers. They are 5x7s, held up with 4 nuts. The wiring in this car is actually immaculate. Probably going to still utilize it in the build. Took our 5x7 over. You can see we have brand new 5x7s and that retro radio that I told you about. So we got the 5x7s. Make sure that they're the same size, and we hold up our old one to our new one, and it is absolutely perfect. So we're going to go ahead and install these. We're going to wire up our new speakers to the original plugs, plug them in, and move on to the doors. Our rear speaker installation. Put it back in with the factory fasteners. We got the same thing over here. We'll wire them up and move on to the doors. After further investigation, we realized that the car runs on a common ground speaker wire system. We actually found the wires coming out of the doors, positive and negative, so we have both of those up front. I needed to make a new harness with our Memphis speaker adapters, and we will connect that to the rear speakers and run it all the way up front of the car. After an excessive amount of disassembly, we finally got the factory radio out. We are assembling the new radio because it comes in pieces, and then we'll get that back installed into the dash. Putting in our Memphis 5.25s in the front doors. We have our baffle that we cut in half, and we wired up our new Memphis harness onto the original harness and test taped it all up. We're now going to install the 5.25 in the door. There we go. We got our 5.25 installed in the door with our new harness and our baffle. We will then reinstall the door panel the opposite way that we took it off. Passenger speakers installed, new harness pigtail, our baffle, everything is screwed in. We will now reassemble the door and test it out, see if it works. Here's the speakers that we installed in the 77 T-Bird. Memphis Power Reference 5x7s, Memphis Power Reference 5.25s in the doors. So a quick recap on our 1977 Thunderbird. Placed all 4 speakers in the car and the radio. 5.25s in the front doors, installed with baffles. In the rear, we have our 5x7s installed. New wires ran to the front. There's the speakers we used. Links will be in the description. And our 5.25s in the other front door with the baffles. the dashboard had to be taken apart piece by piece, including the clock and almost the gauges, to get the old radio out and the new radio in. I would not recommend one of these retro sound radios. They come kind of modular. You kind of have to put them together. It's kind of a one piece fits all type thing. Was not that impressed, but it does sound good. Doesn't look too bad after we got it in. It sounds good. Now we got to give it to the customer and wait for their reaction. That concludes our video for the 1977 Thunderbird. And don't forget, we are your source. From wires to wraps, we've got you covered. 21st Century Sound.